and welcome to this video about how I teach the letters of the alphabet in my homeschool. This is a really important skill that kids need to know before learning how to read, so I'm so excited to share with you how we do this in our homeschool. One of my favorite resources that we use when teaching my kids how to read is a set of magnetic alphabet letters. And the ones that we used were this set, the HAPE ABC magnetic letters. And I like these because they're solid wood letters with solid magnet on the back. So even if you have small kids that put things in their mouth, they won't be able to bite the magnet off and choke on it. So these are great magnetic letters. They have been used with both my kids and really stood up to the use of multiple kids. So I definitely recommend these. And when we taught magnetic letters and alphabet letters, we sort of broke it down into 3 steps. And the way that I did this is actually based on something that I learned as a Montessori teacher. It was called a 3-period lesson. So when we were teaching a new concept, we would teach it in 3 phases or 3 different steps. And those were called the 3 different periods or sections of the lesson. So in the first phase, what we would do is we would tell the kids the name of the letter. So as my kids were playing with the letters, I would just sort of narrate for them out loud. They would put a letter on the fridge and I would tell them the name of that letter. So as we were working, we would just use a magnet board or a refrigerator. And as they were putting the letters up on the board, I would be saying, this is A. This is P. This is M. This is G. And I'm just narrating for the kids the name of the letter. And maybe they might say the name of the letter back to me, or maybe they might not. And either way, that's okay. The point of the activity was just to get them to hear the name of the letter. And we would do that a lot of times. And when I was really intentionally teaching them, we would use just a few letters at a time, maybe 5 or 6 in a group. And we would just take them on and off the fridge and I would tell them the name over and over. When we were just playing, sometimes I would narrate for them as well. But when I was actually trying to have them learn, I would use just a few of the letters. So that was the first phase of the lessons, period 1. Then, once I felt like we had said the names of the letters lots of times, we would move on to the second phase of the lessons. And in this phase, I would be asking the kids to hand me a letter, sort of like a quiz. So if we had these 4 letters up on the fridge, I might say, can you find the M? And then my child would have to grab the M magnet and hand that to me. And we would work through all of the letters that way. So this was a really great activity because it allowed me to kind of see which letter names my kids were starting to learn without them having to actually remember and say the name on their own. So I was starting to be able to see what letters were in their memory bank. And that was really a helpful tool in being able to diagnose how they were doing and just to see what it was that they were learning. So that was the second period. And then in the third period, I would ask the child, what is the name of this letter? So going back to our fridge here, I would ask them, I would point to the G and say, what is the name of that one? And see if they could tell me. And then once they could tell me the name, just saying it outright like that, then I would know that they had learned that letter. And then I would move on. Once they'd learned all the letters in the group, I would move on to the next group. So this is a 3-period lesson, and it comes from the Montessori philosophy. In the first period, you are telling the child the name of the letter. This is A, this is G. In the second period, you're asking them to find you a specific letter in sort of like a game. Can you find me the P? Can you find me the G? And then in the third period, you're asking the child, what is the name of this letter, and pointing to an individual letter. So that's a really great way to practice letters with your kids. It's also a really great way to engage different learning styles with the magnetic letters because kids are seeing the letter, they're hearing the name, and they're getting to actually physically hold the letter in their hand. So they're having a tactile experience with the shape of the letter as well. So hopefully you can try this in your homeschool, and please let me know down below in the comments how this is working for you. And remember to click like and subscribe so that you'll get notifications whenever there's a new video.